Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to OSG Live. We are excited to be here today. Check in if you're joining us this morning. I am Kylene Montgomery with Rise, Shine, Smile.
I'm Tanya Doyscher with Gracie B. Doodle Designs, and this is Asia Grace.
I'm Becky with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery with our Success Group, and we are here to inspire you to fall in love with your business. And I'm excited about getting going today. Where a couple of us are a little under the weather. Poor Tanya's been dealing with some health stuff, and I got a little sick last night myself. So we might not have the same energy. So we need you guys in the comments to carry us today. Becky and Kylene will carry us too. So, but Kylene, where do we start here?
Yeah, let's start with gratitude today. So gratitude is like our superpower, right? And so when we're in that state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance, and therefore we have even more to be grateful for in our life. And we start paying attention to all the amazing things we have in our life to be grateful for. That in turn brings more positive emotions inside of us, raises our vibration, and starts rippling out to other people. So we want to start our show today with gratitude so we can bring in as much positive energy as we can. So I can start today. I am really grateful for the early morning sunshine now that daylight savings is done or started. I never know how it works, but either way, the sun is coming up much earlier in the morning now, and I'm a morning person, and I love that. So that's what I'm grateful for today.
Well, I'm grateful for good friends who have kept me going this past week while I've been really sick. And for this little girl here, because she has been glued to me and keeping me cheered up.
They just know, don't they? They're pretty. Becky, what about you?
I am grateful for a good cup of coffee this morning.
Ooh.
I do not have a sunrise as Kylene does. It is very, very dark here yet. So,
all right. Well, we've got Michelle saying, I'm grateful for our beautiful weather we've been having. And she said, good morning, Fab 4. We had Chuck saying good morning earlier. So all you guys let us know what you're grateful for. Barb checking in from North Central Minnesota. And Betty from Shore Life Creations saying good morning. And she's sending healing vibes. So thanks, Betty. I could use that. Tanya too. All right. So I am grateful for you guys. I'm grateful for this opportunity to be here with you and feel like you're carrying me. So I appreciate you guys being getting us together. Right? This is always something I love and look forward to. And Kylene even said this morning, because I was feeling pretty rough this morning before I got in the shower, and she's like, "We can do this without you." I'm like, "Nope, I can't. I think this is too important to me." So
Same.
Yep, exactly.
I hear a non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. I love that. Yeah, very true, Becky. Good point. Awesome. Okay, well, shall we dig into the wellness super tools? Dig into the toolbox there and see what we can pull out?
Sounds good.
Yes, that sounds wonderful.
All right, here we go.
Hello again.
Welcome to Wellness Super Tools. So Tanya, you came up with what we're talking about today, the idea behind it. And I think it's a perfect idea as we start the really busy holiday season and all the extra commitments we have and all the extra tasks we have, our workload goes up and it gets crazy around the holidays. So we're talking about breaking through overwhelm, and how a task and how to do that is with micro actions. So do you want to explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. I actually did this exercise on a vision board training with Addie, and I can't remember her last name right now, but it was really eye-opening that you could get so much done in a concentrated 5 minutes of time. So sometimes you just need to feel like you're in control of something, anything, and it could be the push that gets you through that growing list. So what I do is I set a timer. First of all, I look around my space. What needs to be accomplished? What have I been putting off? Whatever. And sometimes it's as simple as cleaning up your general space. So set a timer for 5 minutes and then just work on putting things away, throwing things away. Because I know I am so guilty of it. I'll just leave things. Why? I don't know. Oh, it needs to be put away. Or maybe I need to throw it away. Maybe I don't. And once you're done with that 5 minutes, you feel super accomplished because you have this nicer, clean space, or you accomplish something, and you have less clutter, which always makes me feel better. But yet I still clutter it back up.
Yeah.
So it could be a really eye-opening way to spur that momentum that you need.
Most definitely.
So the power of the 5 minute cleanup, we'll say, is when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I look at my space, like I said, I note what's in disarray, I make mental notes, and then I just go to it. When I did the exercise with Addie, I was at the house in Burlington and the kitchen was a disaster. So I got up and I did the dishes and I cleaned the kitchen in 5 minutes. And I'm like, wow, if I would have just done that to begin with, I would have been golden.
That's so true. I'm sure our listeners could probably relate to that. I know I can for sure. Yeah, well, and I kind of was thinking about it like, it's kind of like you look at this big, huge thing that you have to do. And essentially it's like chunking it down, or, the whole mountain analogy, you look at this mountain you have to climb, it looks impossible, right? But really it's just a series of small steps along the way to get there. So those 5 minutes are kind of like those small steps as you continue to work through it. But the other thing I think that you mentioned is that when your space that you're physically in is organized or has some kind of system or calming effect on you, like you said, that is going to empower you inside and allow you to do more instead of feeling even more negative emotions about walking into that space. It is really powerful. And I like how you said you can do so much in 5 minutes, right? And then over time it builds. So
it does. I encourage everyone to at least try it. I'm curious if any of our listeners have done anything like this before, or if you're willing to give it a try. It was very eye-opening to me, and I've done it several times. I had someone give me 3 huge bags of clothes, and I have a couch by my desk at work, and they laid on the couch for like 2 weeks. And finally, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take 5 minutes, and I'm going to go through the first pass. And it took me 2 times to get through them all, and then it was done. I knew what I was going to take home. I knew what I was going to donate, and it was a wonderful feeling when it was all said and done.
Yeah, you feel accomplished, right? You instead of just looking at it. I can look at something for a while. It does drive Aaron crazy. But if I do, the 5 minutes is doable. We have 5 minutes. Yeah. We can continue to work on some things for 5 minutes. There's other things that I don't let go like that, but there's some things, whatever. I think it is looking at it seeming like it's a bigger project. And then just realizing the power of just 5 minutes to work towards something, it will become achievable.
And also, even just changing your shift to something different for 5 minutes is also a healthy thing. My husband always tells me, just walk away from it for a few minutes, do something else for a few minutes. And I've always been resistant to that until recently. And now I'm like, okay, I'm going to say what I hate to say, and that's, you're right.
Oh.
That's painful to say.
Oh, that's too funny. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. Looks like Shore Life Creations. Is that Betty? I believe it's Betty. Yep. You can read
my
it.
head and get so overwhelmed thinking about it, but if I would just get off my tush and do it a little time and a little more, and that's exactly where I was at too. And now that I'm doing it, it makes things a lot easier, and it gets easier to do over time as you commit to trying it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Barbara, I agree, Tanya. I'm not a fan of doing housework. I do different cleaning chores each day for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then on the weekends they have not piled up. Wow. I might need a great idea. Advice there. I can have a very programmed brain sometimes, and in my brain, Saturday mornings and Sundays is my chore day around the house. But I mean, I have help. It's not like I don't have support to get these done throughout the week. So it's a choice, right? Yeah.
That choose gets you.
It does. So I just love, I think this topic was, again, perfect for going into this busy holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
We have some strategies that people can use, different ways to kind of manage that overwhelm in your life. Mindful breathing. So when you are just really feeling that overwhelm, or everything seems to be happening all at once, we all know that feeling, that craziness, that pressure. It's just to take that moment for yourself, pause, take a deep breath in, calm your body down for a moment, so then you can respond in a way that's going to give you the outcomes that you're wanting. It's really powerful just to come back to your breath and just calm your body down instead of just being really reactive. And then you're not really present either in the moment. So,
that does so work. I had a very challenging ongoing situation when I was on vacation in Vegas. And I caught myself just stopping and breathing before I reacted, because I was very challenged by the situation. So another thing is prioritize your top 3. Identify the top 3 tasks that you absolutely have to get done for that day, and then focus on those to create a sense of accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then delegate and collaborate with others. So asking for help, it is really powerful. We can only do so much in our period of time. So knowing what task maybe someone could assist you with and take off your plate is really powerful. And it's not a sign of weakness, asking for help. It is definitely something empowering, and then collaborating with others, like maybe you can get a little bit further when you collaborate with other people, a little bit faster. Kind of going into just even the mastermind side of things, you're collaborating with other like-minded people who have strategies and knowledge that maybe you don't. And therefore you can manage that overwhelm even better.
And when you have those collaborative relationships, it's such a help. Just like coming into for this today, I didn't know if I was going to be able to be here. But I'm like, okay, I can at least do this portion of it so that it doesn't all rest on other people. And it's a really good back and forth. And so it's a healthy relationship. So I encourage everyone to think differently about collaborating and, not gatekeeping their information. So another strategy is mind dump and organize. Write everything down that's on your mind, and then to create your mind dump and then prioritize. Maybe once you get it all out of your brain, that was enough. And then you can see what truly is going to matter for you for that day or whatever you have going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like once I have it down on paper, I've kind of cleared out that space in my brain so I can be focused on what it is that is important. So having that one space where you can kind of dump everything, and then you don't forget about it because it's on a list, but you do forget about it a little bit in your present mind. So it's not like rehearsing over and over and over and taking up all that energy. So that's a really, really important technique. I agree with that.
And then the other one is break it down with, it's called a Pomodoro technique. Work in short focused bursts, like 25 minutes at a time, and then follow it up with a break. Get up and walk away for a little bit. Totally change your mindset. I used to be super guilty of just like concentrating and be like, I have to get this done. I have to get this done, and be there for hours. And then by the end of the day, I was exhausted and I hardly got anything done because I was so hyper focused on being perfect at this one tiny little part of my day. And so I always felt like I was behind on life.
Yeah. And I like that you just shared that. Thank you. Because it does show the power of these simple things and the impact that it has on our overall well-being. And that's why it is a perfect wellness topic, because this is a way that we can manage life and kind of create the life that we deserve and that we desire and want and we can achieve. And so these are just little tips that can make a world of a difference for you. So great topic.
I want to challenge everyone to try this today and then come back to the comments and let us know how it worked out for you. We'd love to know.
Yes. Awesome. Very good. Well, is there anything else we have to share for the wellness? Oh, Michelle commented, I'm choosing intention for my board a lot lately. My planner has a spot for top 3 that gets filled out every morning. I love it.
Great job,
You're doing
Michelle.
Amazing stuff. Good job, Michelle. Yes.
No, I think that this was short and sweet and very, very important and impactful.
Yes, most definitely. So yeah, I like what you said. Challenge everyone just to try it today. And then share with us your experience of it. 5 minutes. That's it. Just 5 minutes. Try something that's kind of been there staring you in the face, but you're not addressing it. I'm sure we all have it. I have a few things that are.
We could all do something for 5 minutes to give it a try.
Yeah, most definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you, Tanya. And I'm glad you're feeling well enough to be here today. It's been fun talking about this. Yes. All right. Well, I think we are ready for a little video here to share another wellness tool that we can use. And that's yoga. Again, it's quieting your mind and strengthening your body and just building that trust with yourself. That's why I love yoga. So if we can share that video, that would be awesome.
All right. Yep. Check that out. Great stuff, you guys. Becky, anything stand out for you on that?
I love the 5-minute timer option cleanup stuff. I actually did one as I walked out to my office this morning, as my desk was way more needed, way too many things on top. So whether I realized it or not, I did a 5-minute cleanup this morning. My problem is I may have moved a pile to the other side. So I'll need one more 5-minute one to get that cleaned up today. So I love that. I love that we can do so much in such a short period of time, though. I think that's something that everybody needs to, try to remember, that even though that task looks extremely daunting, that, a quick 5 minutes can get you a long ways.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, a big part of it, right, is, we look at these things, like you said, it can be daunting, it big, and the challenge becomes our conscious brain gets in the way. Oh, we can't do that. And it's just too much. And if we were to actually just get into action, you'd be amazed at how much more you actually can do quicker. And I think that's always been a big part of what we talk about at our success group and through the mastermind program and stuff like that. It's, just get into action. And I think these tools that you guys shared are really great tools to help remind us to, 5 minutes, or the Pomodoro technique, or, those types of things, all really useful tools to help us get into action.
The other thing that happens too is that the more you do it, the less apprehensive you are about doing it. It just becomes more of a natural step. Like Becky said, she went out and didn't even realize she was doing it, but she did it unconsciously because she's been practicing it. And so it really does start to help over time as well. It doesn't need to be so intentional after a while. Yeah,
that's a really good point. Yep. The other thing that stood out to me was the mindful breathing. So this is interesting because breath work and having that opportunity, mindful breathing, it's the only thing that we can do that allows us to access our subconscious, because it's the one thing that, we breathe, whether we think about it or not. And so when we intentionally think about it, it actually slows down our subconscious, and it allows us to kind of be more focused and intentional. I think Michelle had used that word in the comment earlier. So the breath work is also, I think we kind of go, oh, that's too woo-woo or whatever, but it's massively helpful to just kind of, make a change, be intentional about what it is that you want to accomplish.
When you think about it, like when you are in a stressful situation, like I was in Vegas, I was finding that I was holding my breath or having really shallow breathing because I was trying to not scream at somebody. And then that was impacting me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to breathe. And then I was able to handle a little bit better and still handled the situation, but did it in a better way than what I would have done in the past, which would have been like totally losing myself over it. So
that's so powerful. And the breath, it comes from the diaphragm, not the lungs. So when you're doing that intentional breathing, it's the stomach. It feels like your stomach going in and out. So good. All right, let's see here. Todd is coming in from the Bahamas. Not the best service, but hey, it's the Bahamas. So
have the best time and happy belated birthday, Todd.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and then Mo,
birthday.
good morning. Thanks for being here, Mo. Okay, well, are you guys ready for some small business success gems here?
Yes, go Becky.
All right. Well, here we go then.
Welcome back, OSG squad. I'm so glad you guys are here. I just think it is amazing how many times when we put together our segments and haven't really talked to each other, that how much they interact with each other. So my topic today is 1 minute to confidence. And it is also works in with some of the same stuff that Tanya and Kylene were talking about and what we just discussed here with the four of us in between. So if I could give you 5 simple steps to set yourself up for confidence, would you take it? What if you have a presentation you need to do, or, jitters before a live? That's me still. Someday in maybe 3 years, I might get used to this, but who knows? How about needing to talk to a customer? You want to win over a customer. If you could give yourself a minute to walk through these 5 steps, you could build that confidence. So the first step would be to create the calm. We just talked about some of that with Kylene and Tanya also, but you have a million things running through your mind, and you just need to put everything aside, pause, and just concentrate on that one thing. Just, put everything off to the side and just say, okay, this is what's in front of me, and this is what I'm going to do. Take a couple deep breaths. We just talked about that. Make your body feel calm. That is the one thing that is such an amazing, those couple breaths, and how much you can feel your body take that calm in and get rid of that anxiety. Number 2, create your why. Now, this isn't the in-depth create your why that Erin likes to talk about and that we need to do, but why are you giving the presentation? What's the purpose of the live? And why do you want to work with this customer? Thinking about and preparing your why can give you that perspective to put your mindset in the right direction. Number 3 would be to create some momentum. Do a mental walkthrough. Do a mental walkthrough on your entire presentation. Or different things points that you want to talk about in the live or in your interview with your potential customer. Plan it out. See it in your mind. But more importantly, visualize yourself succeeding, receiving some positive feedback, landing that customer. How good is that going to feel once you've landed the customer? Number 4, gratitude. Now, we talk a lot about gratitude. We just started our show with gratitude. We talk about it every week. We love gratitude. It brings so much energy to us, and obviously those around us. But if we give ourselves some time to get those positive thoughts and that gratitude, and take to just a few seconds to appreciate our talents, you're going to be able to stand tall and confident during that presentation or live. And last, but definitely not least, would be, a connection or a prayer. Say, ask for success, grace, some support, a little prayer here and there. I also try to remember to say, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to have this platform to reach people, to be a voice, to spread some good. So I understand that those 5 steps seem like a lot for 1 minute. You're saying 1 minute, but you'd be surprised at how quickly it becomes second nature. Your subconscious has the habit of doing the heavy lifting for you. You just have to cue up this 1 minute of confidence. So let's take a few minutes here and we'll walk through it a little bit. Imagine you're a small business owner. Oh, we are, aren't we? Most of us are. And you have a crucial pitch. In the first part, you take a deep breath and you create that calm. You spend 20 seconds just focusing on your breath, clearing your mind, putting all your other roles into the boxes for later. Set everything aside. Now you're going to take the next 10 seconds to think about your why. Why are you doing this pitch? What's your ultimate goal? What's this quick reflection that helps you gain perspective? Now you got 10 seconds to create some momentum by mentally walking through your pitch. Visualize yourself confidently delivering it, receiving that positive feedback, winning over your audience. Then you can shift to gratitude for the next 10 seconds. Think about your strengths and your talents that brought you into this moment. Express gratitude for the opportunity itself. Now, in the last final 10 seconds, establish a connection or say a quick prayer. Ask for that success, the grace, and the support. Express thanks for the opportunity once more. By breaking these steps into smaller parts, you'll find that in 1 minute, you'll find that 1 minute might not feel very long. Your subconscious is going to take the reins, and that process will be quicker and quicker and more effective over time. So just like Tanya and Kylene had a 5-minute quick start of the day, get you set up for success, this 1 minute will do the same. I actually ran through this before everybody else came in this morning. I was still sitting at the table with my coffee, and I went through this 1 minute through my segment and what I needed to do and what I wanted to say, and how that makes such an impact for me to know and feel comfortable being up here. I am still not 100% comfortable up here. I'm going to tell everybody that right now. Someday they're going to say, see, look back and see. And I will go, yes, you were right. Those words are hard to say, Tanya, but that you are right. So we're here. I just want to challenge everybody to see if they can use these steps here. And Michelle says, absolutely need more confidence. And Michelle, I think you have come a long ways. Your confidence level I have seen grown over the last few months. So I think you're doing amazing. So I would like to bring the rest of the Fab Four back up here and see if they have used this or are willing to use this going forward.
That was
Great
awesome.
job, Becky.
Thank you.
Positive feedback.
I mean, I think it's just so powerful what we can do ourselves. It's not this it is kind of like a magic bullet, right? It's 1 minute, right? We have the ability to really be connected to what we're doing. And when we're connected and believe what we're doing, we've rehearsed it in our subconscious. When we actually go to execute, it's so much easier, right? You're present, you're believing what you're saying. It just comes out more naturally. So I think this was awesome. Really good technique.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely. And it just goes to show with all of these techniques, they don't have to be anything that take a great deal of time. They're actually very simple. We just, in our brains, make them seem insurmountable. It's just breaking it down and doing it, getting it done.
Yeah.
And Becky, I think that you've been doing a tremendous job, just like Michelle. You guys have come so far.
Yeah. Well, and I think all of these things, what you guys shared, what this is all about, what you guys shared in the Wellness Toolbox earlier, what this is about, it really is just about saying, I want to be intentional about what I want out of my life, what I want out of my business, right? And so if we can just get a few of these techniques and make them part of our habits, right? Becky talked about that, right? When the subconscious is going, okay, yep, I've got my 1 minute to confidence. I know what the steps are: create calm, understand the why of doing it, the create momentum, gratitude, and that connection to a higher purpose, connection or prayer. Right? If that just, once that becomes like part of your routine before you do something where you need a little bit, because there's a lot of things that we need confidence for, right? Doing something like this, but making that sales pitch, or just having the hard conversation, or, lots of different things. Heck, for our son, it's like, hey, you need to go ask for, what you want, right? You don't just hang out at the back of the line and whatnot. So there's so many things where a little boost of confidence will go a long way to our success. And I think having a technique like this that Becky shared here is really powerful. And so thanks for sharing that, Becky.
It was wonderful. So are we ready to head towards the uncommon mindset? But we're going to have a little bit of is it a video? Is that what you have, Aaron?
Yep. Just a little
for
quick.
Our Choose brand.
Yeah, definitely share that here real quick. And so we'll do that. We'll come back and then we'll get an uncommon mindset.
Choose boards and other affirmation products are excellent tools to move you forward. Check out the Ice Choose web store to get yours. Choose what you need as often as you need it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love that.
Got mine right here.
I love that.
All right. Well, shall we dive into the uncommon mindset here?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Please.
Let's
Okay,
go.
here we go. All right. Well, welcome into the uncommon mindset. As you can see, Kylene is here with me. And if you guys remember right, we were digging into the difference between kind of that employee and entrepreneurial mindset. And last week, we kind of talked some about just why it was important, why we had to, as small business owners, why we need to kind of think a little bit differently. That's the whole point of uncommon mindset, right? So what is the uncommon mindset? And this week, Kylene, we want to break down kind of more of what is the difference? Let's get into the weeds. And then next week, we'll come back and give you some actual strategies that you can use. So we'll keep you in suspense a little bit longer, but
Love it.
Yep. So, Kylene, you actually did a great job putting this together. So I'm going to actually step out of the way and just participate in the conversation.
Yeah, I think for me, when we were kind of putting this together, it was kind of like, I don't know, I had all these like light bulb moments. Oh, that's what, when I was starting out, transitioning from the employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. It really is a different way of thinking. And not that either one is better or worse. It's just if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you do have to think a little bit differently with that uncommon mindset to really be successful. And so one of the first things I wanted to talk about, entrepreneurs, they make decisions quickly. So when that idea pops up, that spark, that conversation that leads to an idea, they act on it. Whereas the employee mindset can ponder, overthink, overanalyze, and then that leads to those missed opportunities because that moment has passed, right? Whereas an entrepreneur is sparked, they're clear about what they want, and they run with it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why it's so important to really truly understand your why, you clarify your reason, and make sure that that is good and clear, because you're exactly right. We do need to, that's a good idea. But what I was getting myself into trouble with is I had all these good ideas and I was trying to do everything because it was like, but once you have real clarity of why and what the path is that you're traveling on, then it becomes really easy. You get these inspirations and then you can have something to gauge it against and say, yep, that aligns with my reason, that fits into the picture that I've painted in my brain, and I can do that quickly. And so I think that's a great point, that they make decisions quickly. And real quick, if I can talk about, you mentioned that one is not better than the other. And I think it's real important that we make that very clear. We're not saying that an employee mindset is a bad thing. And the reality is, though, you need to kind of understand what it is that you're trying to do. If you're trying to be an entrepreneur, then yes, you do have to think a little bit differently. If you are happy with your job and you're able to kind of get where you want to go, and then that's perfect too. It is a different way of thinking. It's a little bit more of a siloed way of thinking, right? I've got the job, I go to the job, I come home, I do home stuff, right? And so it's a little bit more siloed, where in an entrepreneurial mindset, again, it's just a little bit uncommon to what we were taught in school is an employee mindset. That's the reality of our education system. It's certainly changed. I watch our son; they definitely think a little bit differently, but they still take in information, how you take tests, and then do what you're told, right? And again, nothing wrong with that. Totally important to have that. But if you're trying to be a successful small business owner, you're going to have to think differently in those moments when entrepreneurs are being an entrepreneur is in that moment. So, all right, what's next, Kylene?
So kind of leading with that why and being really clear about that and being able to know the path that you're on as an entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs, they create opportunities for themselves or their business. They say no when needed, so then they can say yes to what really matters because they're clear. They know the path that they're on. Whereas the employee mindset, and this is early on, this is where I got stuck, trying to be everything to everyone because I'm not focused. And that fear of missing out shows up because I'm really not on that direct path, So I think that's a huge difference between the entrepreneurial mindset and an employee mindset. There is they know when to say no, and they're okay with when they say no, and they put themselves in the position so they can say yes to being successful in those opportunities when they arise.
Yep. Yeah, you're taking 100% responsibility for your business, and you're willing to say, yep, that sounds like a great idea. I really appreciate that opportunity, but that doesn't fit into my vision, right? If I can support you with it and it doesn't get in the way, great. But beyond that, and I think saying no is definitely a challenge for folks because of the fact that we do have that we get stuck in that scarcity loop, right?
Mhm.
Where, we just feel like if we're not trying to do everything that we're going to miss out. And maybe the one big job that really takes my business to the next level, I missed it because I said no to the project. But the reality is it's the opposite of that. You get yourself in a place where you don't have room for the jobs and the right. Like I've seen so many small businesses really flourish once they started finally saying no, and they stopped trying to be all things to everybody, and they focused in on what it was that was important to them, because now they had the space and the mental capacity to really get good at what they were trying to do. And now they actually got more by saying no, right? So it is uncommon mindset. You have to say no to get more because you need the space here and just in we talked about the stacks and everything else going on.
Yep.
You need that too. So that's a really good point. And I guess the other thing, Kylene, I wanted to share is that I'm so appreciative that you were willing to do this with me, because we have kind of had different upbringings a little bit, and we talked about that some last week. And again, not that your parents weren't entrepreneurial, your dad definitely was, and your mom is great at kind of doing what she needs to do and whatnot. So, but the reality is it was a little bit different, right? I grew up in a household where my dad was an entrepreneur, and that's we lived or died by that. And so when I think about this stuff, I kind of go, that's the common mindset in my brain, right? And so being able to have this discussion about the differences, you came up with some things that I would have not thought about. So what else do you what else do you have there?
I think I'm glad that you brought that up, because it kind of conditions you, right? You grow up learning what you see. And so for me, that's why that fear was there when I didn't have that consistency starting out as an entrepreneur. Whereas you, and this is the next point, can kind of almost thrive. An entrepreneur can almost thrive in risk and challenges because they believe it is necessary for growth. And that's that knowing when to say yes to something, because they're clear about the path. And so they know that challenge or that uncomfortable feeling that can arise, they're clear about what they're going. So they're confident in saying yes to it. And so they do what's necessary to accomplish that. Whereas an employee mindset, you kind of have that employee mindset, it's expected, and you can shy away from those big challenges or risks because that's uncomfortable, and that creates that fear and that negative emotions inside of us. And we can just shy away from those things. Whereas an entrepreneur is like, let's go. This is important. This is going to take me to the next level. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it is a balancing act of the risk, because in an entrepreneurial mindset, we look at those things and they don't actually feel like a risk or a true challenge to face, because like you said, it is just part of that growth process. We need to do something that puts us out there, and we have a very clear vision of what it is that we're trying to do. And so therefore it's not a risk. It's just part of the process. So I come back to my favorite quote by Jack Canfield. It's everything you want is on the other side of fear, and for me, that got me through a lot of those moments where I wanted to stop because that fear was so strong. But really, if I wanted to continue growing my business, I had to do something different and get uncomfortable a little bit. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, we've got Darren checking in. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning.
Betty says, when I first started, I used to never say no. I was chasing the almighty dollar, but I learned that I was chasing my tail in the end and killing myself for no benefit. So being picky and staying in my lane has made me more money and profit. So I love that.
Thanks for sharing that. That's
Yep. Good stuff there. And Michelle says, saying no has helped my life and business. Yep. It's so funny. It's a 2-letter word, and it's so hard to say, right? I mean, it's just two
Mhm.
little letters, N-O, and it's really hard to say. So,
Yeah.
and Mo, I love that she shared this, Mo, and thank you for sharing this. Saying no has been hard. I found it can be a relief on the brain, and I think
Mm.
Mo really summarized what I was trying to talk about there. When we do say no, it's that relief on our brain where we can, not be underneath that thing that we knew deep down we probably needed to say no, and so now we're just fretting over it. We're spending all of our effort on it, and when we say no, it gives us that space. It gives us that relief on our brain to then really get into our zone of greatness. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah. That's a
appreciate
great way to put it.
Yep. Okay, what else you
Okay.
got for us, Kylene?
So the other main thing, just for time reasons, I think, is entrepreneurs believe in prioritizing. An employee believes in balance. So kind of how we wanted to talk about this is prioritizing, clear about what you're doing as an entrepreneur, knowing the most important tasks that you need to accomplish to be successful. That's that uncommon mindset as an entrepreneur. Employees can tend to crave that balance in their life, but really, balance, as we've talked about a lot, isn't necessarily a true balance in life. We can't, as an entrepreneur, we can't say, well, we can, I guess. I shouldn't say can't. It's our choice. We go through cycles as an entrepreneur in our business, right? We have certain times where we're really busy, and we have certain times where maybe it's a little bit slower. We have certain times where maybe a lot of big decisions have to be made. And so you're spending a little bit more time, but it's not just like you said at the beginning, I go to work from this time to this time and I can leave my business and that's it. You're still, as an entrepreneur, always thinking about your business. It doesn't just shut off sometimes like it can as an employee mindset would.
Yeah. Well, I always like to say, it just becomes part of who you are, right? Because then it's not, I think if we do have that kind of segmented look at it, view on it, then it becomes very challenging because you get out there and you feel like you're selling, or you're not, you have to kind of do these things. But if your business just becomes part of who you are, it's just part of your normal conversation, this is what you're working on, this is what you're doing, and it's no longer kind of like selling. And so I think, like you said, that balance thing can be quite a myth. Go to work 8 hours a day, sleep 8 hours a day, and do family stuff the other 8 hours a day, right? It's just even as an employee, that doesn't always always play, but especially as an entrepreneur, it is about cycles. It is about seasons, right? I think most folks in our space here, this is a busy time, right? That people are, some people are getting really busy. Now, not everybody, right? Everybody has different cycles and seasons, but some people in the fourth quarter, this might be the go time for a lot of folks. And so, I think, just kind of making that decision. Okay, I need to, the saying is, get while the getting's good.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah. And I think it's just like understanding that as an entrepreneur, prioritizing the task, creating and choosing how you're going to run your business is up to you. And if you ultimately want to be successful, you got to really get good at prioritizing those tasks.
Yep. Well, and I think the other, part that is the benefit, the bonus is that, if you're an employee, you're working the 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 job, right? You're doing the 8 to 5, right? And during that time, you're not doing anything else. But as an entrepreneur, I need to go take the kids to a doctor's appointment. I need to run an errand. I need to do whatever. I can do that in the middle of the day, right? And nobody's going to be upset with me about that, right? I don't have to take leave or anything like that. So it's, there's certain benefits to it for sure. But then, if you did go and have to go to the school function during the middle of the day or whatnot, then you might be putting in a little extra effort at the end of the day to make sure that you got all the things done that you needed to get done for your business too. And I think, you sharing that word prioritize, because I think the other thing that maybe sometimes people get hung up on is that we feel like, as an entrepreneur, we have to work all the time, every hour of every day. And that's always the joke that my friend Terry and I say, is that as an entrepreneur, we've given ourselves the right to work every hour of every day. But the reality is that's not true. You can, if you prioritize correctly, then you can Netflix and chill just like everybody else. Right. So, but you got to prioritize first. So,
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Anything else, Kylene?
No, I mean, I just think that it's just being aware of these different mindsets, uncommon mindsets, and it's really powerful, especially as you're building your business, to really remember that. I think it helps you along the way to be successful.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll bring the rest of the Fab Four back in here in just a moment, but next week we will dive into kind of how to cultivate that entrepreneurial mindset. And so, we started with why last week, and then this week we're talking about what, right? What is the difference between the two? And I think we did a great job explaining that. I'm clear. So,
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's bring back in Becky and Tanya, if I can get to the right buttons here. There we go.
Hi.
Hello, and we've got Cora joining us too.
Hello.
For finishing my beer.
I wanted to add to your guys' segment that I was told by, I'm pretty sure it was Tanya, that no is a complete sentence.
Yes, it is.
True.
So,
yeah. Well, and if to keep it on the no theme there, I've probably told this story too many times, so I'll try not to get too deep into it. But when I was growing up, we had the DARE program in school to keep kids off drugs. I was fortunate that I didn't have that around me, and so it really wasn't a concern. But the thing we learned in the DARE program was the sandwich method, right? How to say no using the sandwich method. So you say, I like you, I don't do drugs, we can still be friends. So positive, negative, positive.
I like that.
We had a baseball coach that was amazing at doing that. So the kids never felt like they were in trouble for missing a ball or striking out or anything like that. But he always got his point across in the middle.
Yeah.
But
That's
he
good.
also made sure that those kids knew that they were important and were not wrong. So
Yeah. Which can make delivering that no so much easier too, I think, for everybody involved. So.
And they hear it so much better. They're open. They get that positive, and then they're open to the negative, and they know they're going to get that positive back. So they definitely were, made them better kids as they were having that coaching. So
That's awesome.
Yep. All right. Well, anything else on the uncommon mindset there? Or are we ready to put this thing on ice?
Oh, nice.
Good one, Aaron.
I couldn't help myself.
On that
All right,
note,
Tanya.
I stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. And it goes hand in hand with choose and all of our other mindset things too. I challenge each of you to choose what you need as often as you need it this week. If you want, let us know in the comments what you're choosing. I'm choosing to be healthy because I've had a very challenging week with that, and I am still not feeling 100%. Tool alert choose boards have been listed, the mini ones on the site, and if Aaron, you can put that link up, that would be great.
Yep.
And there's also other affirmation items up there as well, tools that can help you to have a positive mindset and have those daily reminders.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There you go. So go to osg.link/ice. We'll take you there directly to the Choose store. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, I'm love to have you guys make that commitment to yourselves. What did you take from this week's OSG Live that you want to implement and make it part of what your intentions are for the week? So curious to know in the comments what you're going to commit to. What about you guys? What are you committing to this week as it relates to OSG Live here or otherwise? So
I'm going to get back to my notes and figure out what I committed to while I was on vacation because things have went horribly awry for me and I need to get back on track.
I like it.
All right.
I'm going to commit to keep going and doing the 5 minutes. We have a lot of busyness headed our way. So I think if I can just knock out some things in 5 minutes, I will feel much more relaxed moving forward.
Nice.
My board this week says to celebrate.
Nice.
So I will take that time to remember to celebrate a little bit. And maybe a breath or two.
Some breath work
as the kids are running back and forth and around and about.
All right. Michelle says, committing to my why, making changes with my store booths. So good job, Michelle. And I was giggling. She said, good one, Aaron. Your dad joke is a different segment. So and Betty, yeah. You got to have jokes, and no matter how bad you feel, jokes are important. Yeah. So for me, I wrote on my board, I was thinking about writing health because I, obviously want to get healthy as quickly as possible, but I'm not normally, Kylene can attest to this, I'm not normally very good at taking care of myself. I would normally just power through it. So I may actually go take a nap here this morning. So we'll see. That's my intention. So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for all of this. Kylene, you want to close us out here?
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for joining us today for OSG Live. We're really excited about the show, and it still feels new to me, even though we're on episode 8, I think. So we're open to feedback. So what did you like? What do you want to hear about? Is there an area you think we could beef up a little bit more? We just want to learn about what's going to help you in your business, in your life, and keep you moving forward. So reach out to any one of us. We would love to hear it.
Excellent.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you guys all for being here, and we wish you all an amazing week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.